In May of 2025, we decided to create a YouTube channel where combined two families, we're going to travel the South and review RV parks in terms of the kids' perspective, what it's like for the kids, different activities, as well as the overall family appeal. However, shortly after creating the channel, we ended up splitting ways, just in terms of summer plans. We went north, Britt and Veronica stayed south. However, I just got to say,
reunited, and it feels so good. Welcome to Leesburg, Alabama.
good morning, y'all. Today we are in Leesburg, Alabama. We are at Great Escapes at Chestnut Bay. First time camping here together in Alabama. As you saw, we are reunited, the entire Glamping Pals team back together. Excited to check out this place. Again, our first time ever camping in Alabama. We found this place, thought that it had a lot going for it in terms of stuff for the kids to do, so checking it out today. Beautiful time that we've had here. The weather has been great. But let's go check out this park. Let's check out what they have to offer in terms of the amenities for the kids, what the campground has to offer, what the sites are like, all of that good stuff. Stick with it. Let's go take a look.
All right, y'all. Well, unfortunately, Britt's mic did not work during the filming, so we're going to play a fun game called Guess What Britt is Trying to Relay. So this is the check-in area at Great Escapes. Here's where you're going to check in. I haven't actually seen anybody manning the station, but they do put all the information that you need on a clipboard when you do arrive, including the gate codes, Wi-Fi, schedules, all those things. Here you see the gate. It is down. You do have to punch a code in to get it open. Really nice. All of the entrances and exits that we found at the park did have the gate down, so it is active. They are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Up front here is where you're going to find a lot of different activities. There's a playground. Here are some cabins that are available for rent. They're kind of like trailers that they turn into cabins. This is where the amphitheater is. Right here, you're looking at the activity center where there's mini golf, gemstone mining, the golf cart rentals. The red building in front of you is the main, I guess, lobby or kind of camp store. And what you're going to see here to the left of it is where you're actually going to pull through when you come with your camper. It is sort of a narrow area in order to get through there, as you can kind of see. So definitely an area where you do need to kind of just take it slow and you'll be good to go. So here we're looking at Britt and Veronica's site, site 601. It is a pull-through site, extremely long. As you'll notice here, there are no branches in a way. They do a great job with trimming and making sure that nothing is touching the slide outs or the top of the RV. It is on crushed gravel. There is a concrete pad with a very nice picnic table on it as well. The sites are not level, so as you'll see here, Britt's landing gear are extended quite a bit in order for him to get his camper level. Um, our site also not quite level. We actually had two wheels up off the ground. And as you'll see here, this is the exit to the park. It is a very steep hill. I think one out of all of our kids did not leave with a scraped knee. So this is our site, site 602, another pull through. Again, not extremely level, but right next to the entrance to the water park. The tunnel that you see there is where guests not staying at the park can come. So there's not a lot of privacy during water park days. There you see a fly trap. The flies were extremely bad. The second that you get food out, the flies are going to be all over you. Um, I don't know if there's really much you can do if it's just a location down here by the woods and by the water park. But again, the flies were extremely bad the entire time. But nice location, as you can see there, to the park and to the jumping pillows. So to reiterate on that, as we are approaching our campsite, you'll actually see how close we are to the jumping pillow there. So we could see our kids from the campsite. It was nice to let them have a little bit of freedom. This is sort of a busy intersection here. It's the exit for everybody coming out of the park, as well as if you're going to go over to the Chestnut Bay Resort and use the lake. So there was a lot of traffic coming through here on a regular basis, but overall, not a bad place to be. So over here, right across from the park and jumping pillow, is the 300s, 400s, and 500s section. This is actually the section that we were supposed to camp in, and when we had to redo our reservation, was not available. Do think there would be less bugs and more level sites, so definitely something to consider when you're booking this park. So here we have the 200 section. I believe it is all back through our back ends up here. Back ends are different sizes, but what is nice, as you'll see, there is a pool specifically for this location, as well as laundry and a bathhouse. It is set up nice where they have in all the different areas. You do have your own pool and laundry, bathroom, shower facilities. And there's also a nice play area up here with a jumping pillow and gaga ball. All right, so here you can see some of the back ends. Again, they're on gravel. There are different sizes. Some back up to woods, some back up to the jumping pillow and gaga ball, the play area. Um, Different variety of campers up here. You have fifth wheels that can fit in there, longer fifth wheels. You do have some shorter pop-up campers up there as well. But all in all, another great area to be in the 200s. Didn't feel any bugs when we were up in this area. So definitely somewhere to recommend, especially if you have kids, because they're going to love playing right here. So when you pull into the Great Escapes RV Park, across the road is what is called Great Escapes Resort. It is on a lake. There are a lot of cabins and houses and different things you can rent, but it's easily accessible through this tunnel right behind the water park at the park. So you just head behind the water park by the seasonal campers, head through the tunnel, and it'll take you right over there. So as you'll see here, we just made it through the tunnel. So that is the RV park over there. Here is the resort. There are, like I said, a lot of different houses. I mean, they're big houses that you can rent here. They do have multiple pools here as well that are accessible for guests at the RV park, as well as everything at the lake. But very just immaculate, well maintained. There are golf carts that you can rent here. A lot of the same amenities that you would have over at the RV park, they also have here at the resort. And again, staying at the resort gets you full access to everything that you see at the resort. So here you can see we are approaching the beach. There are houses that are available right on the water. You can also get houses to rent that are right alongside the pool, so you can come out your back patio right into the pool area. And they do have like beach volleyball, different games and things along those lines for you to be able to play down by the beach. But just a great area. There are some tiki umbrellas with chairs that you can lay in the sand, docks that you can fish off of. So one thing about this lake is it's actually known as, I believe it's called the Crappie Lake of the World. So really good fishing. You can rent a charter out of here. You can also rent boats right from here, and they'll deliver them for you. We looked into some pontoons. They were about $275 for 4 hours, or I believe for a full day they were right around $400. But just a beautiful looking lake, a great area to come and hang out, and again do some fishing, maybe take a boat out, and enjoy yourself while you're there. All right, last video down here by the lake, really just giving you a scale and scope of how big this place is. Again, lots of areas for you to check out here if you're staying at the RV park or at the resort. A lot of different houses. These are only the ones on the lake. They go much further back. There are rows and rows and rows. So definitely a lot of options when you come to this area in regards to where to stay and how to stay. So if you have a camper, great RV park. If you don't, check out the resort. It's beautiful either way.
So behind me, this is the main store, the camp store when you get on site. Inside, they're going to have a lot of different things. There are t-shirts, magnets, different memorabilia for the park, all of the Great Escape branded stuff. There is also firewood. I believe it's around $7.99 a bundle for firewood. They also have, the camp general things that you might have missed that you're going to need. Another cool thing that they have in there, they do have about 12 different flavors of ice cream. Kids definitely enjoyed checking that out yesterday on a nice hot day, so encourage you to do the same. Great option here at Great Escapes. All right, behind me here you have an activity center. This is an area where you can come, you can do gemstone mining. There's going to be different activities inside, tie-dye shirts, painting, things along those lines. This is also where the mini golf is, so you're able to come right here. They have the putters and the balls sitting out for you to use. Grab what you need, head down to the course. Nice fun little 9-hole course. Again, free to use right there. Behind me here, you can see another playground. So this is up towards the front of the park. Nice to have them kind of spread out so the kids can go to different areas. Lots of areas for the kids to play here. Great alternative right at the front. Again, there is the main one that's right over by the water park, but encourage your kids to check out both and see which one's better. So besides the activity center and mini golf, there are a lot of other activities that they have scheduled here for the kids. A couple of them being the amphitheater that you see behind me here. They do host movies on a near nightly basis for the kids to come and hang out. Once it gets dark out, which is usually around 8:30, put a movie on. You can sit here and watch that, have some snacks. Another thing that they do have is hay rides. So like a lot of the Jellystones, for example, they do have a tractor that pulls a big old wagon. You can get on that at different times of the day. One time they came by, they were squirting water guns, which was kind of fun. And then last night they had a glow ride where everyone had glow sticks. A bunch of golf carts got in a processional as well, sort of a parade. They were all lit up, music going. Wasn't too late. It was nice in terms of not waking people up. But a lot of fun, something for the kids to do that really enjoy here at Great Escapes. All right, so behind me here is where you are able to rent golf carts at the park here at Great Escapes. One thing about this park, it is extremely hilly. Everywhere you go, you're either going uphill, downhill. It's just built on a lot of hills. So a golf cart is a great option to get around the park. If you're staying in one end and you want to check out a pool on the other end, this is definitely a way to do it. 4-seat golf carts start at around $80 per day, and the 6-seater is around $130 a day. So great option here, nice to have it. Make sure to check it out if you come to this park. Another cool option that they have for the kids here is they have a couple of little, Power Wheels, different trucks, Jeeps that you can rent. It is $10 plus tax. I believe you rent them for 15 minutes at a time. But again, it's going to be for the smaller kids, but definitely something cool I haven't seen offered anywhere else. All right, so behind me here, we have the most centrally located playground in the park. It is right next to the water park in a great location. People from all over can access it. You have the park itself here with a couple of slides, stuff to climb on. And then over here, you have one of 2 jumping pillows that are in here. It's really nice from our site. We can watch our kids so they can come up here, they can go on the jumping pillow, play in the playground. We don't need to be up here supervising. We're plenty close. We have full visibility on them at all times, and it's something that they've really enjoyed doing. So behind me here, we have one of 4 pools here at Great Escapes at Chestnut Bay. As you'll see, there is a water slide for the kids, and what's nice about this area is the shallow end is actually shallow enough for my 4-year-old to be able to touch. So he can go in the pool, walk around in the shallow end. We don't really have to worry about him. He is able to swim, but it's nice. He can kind of walk around. But a very nice area. I think the pool opens around 10 o'clock. Water is nice and warm, great place. Earlier, there were a lot of people hanging out. Everyone's heading off for lunch now, but a great option to come and get some sun and hang out in the water. So behind me here, we have one of the bathhouses that are on site. It is right next to one of the pools. This pool is by the 200 section. There's laundry inside of here. There are bathrooms. There are also showers for use. The laundry, again, it's going to be coin operated, but it's really conveniently located right in the middle of the park. So this is the second play area that they have for kids here. It is next to the 200 section. They have a jumping pillow, and also over to my right, there is Gaga ball and a tiny slide. A little bit of green area for the kids to kind of run around in. It is right next to that pool that I showed you earlier. But it is a nice area to come and again let the kids kind of do a little jumping on the pillow and get some exercise. So this is the third pool that we found on site. Much larger pool. It does have a sun deck with chairs in it, including chairs that are kid size. There's another water slide, and of course there are bathrooms and laundry on site. So let's talk about the main attraction, the main amenity here at Great Escapes at Chestnut Bay. That's going to be Pirates Bay Water Park, which is located right in the middle of the park. Now, the water park's not included in the stay. It is $25 a person, 3 and under are free, and it is a little bit quirky. So from Memorial Day through August 2nd, which is the day that school starts here in Alabama, they're open 7 days a week from 10 to 6. However, once August 3rd hits, through the remainder of the year, they are only open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 6. So we came here on Thursday hoping to use the water park on Friday, being that the kids were going to be in school. We were thinking it would be a little less chaotic. Wasn't open. The little area behind me that you see here, the splash pad, however, was open just for the park guests on Friday. So a little area, smaller kids got to enjoy it. There are a few kind of bigger slides, bigger-ish, for the kids to be able to come and enjoy as well. So it wasn't a complete washout, but definitely know the hours. We actually had originally booked this place from before Memorial Day. We wanted to come, and then we found the water park wasn't open at all during that point. So make sure when you're scheduling, you look at the dates and make sure the water park is going to be available when you do come. Another note on the water park that I do want to get across, because I feel like it's important for parents to know this. Before coming here, I did some research on the water park and saw some reviews where some people were saying that some of the stuff was kind of sketchy, not well maintained. Again, most people that are going to go on and do reviews on stuff are going to leave negative reviews. They're not going to talk about the positives. However, having come here now and having done the water park yesterday, I can honestly agree there are some things in here that I would not recommend kids doing. There are this blue and white slide that kind of wraps around each other. It's a tube slide. It goes incredibly fast in the dark. You can't see what's coming, and what ends up happening is the turns are so sharp and you don't know they're coming and you're going so fast that you start to lose control and it starts tossing you around inside this tube as you're going quickly. I actually smashed my face into the side of the water slide. I got a cut on my forehead. My glasses pushed into my nose and I bruised my nose. I saw other kids come out that were bleeding. Definitely pay attention to what your kids are going on. Make sure that it looks like something that is safe. Ask people around you about their experiences, because I would not recommend every slide for everybody here. Okay, so the last amenity that I want to talk about here at Great Escapes at Chestnut Bay is the Wi-Fi service. So a lot of people come and they are, working on the road. They have business that they have to take care of here. Be extremely cautious when you come here in your ability to be able to do that. They do have Wi-Fi available. However, it has worked extremely intermittently. When you're able to get on, sometimes you can't connect to the internet. Sometimes it won't even come up at all as an option to join. Something to consider there for sure. The other issue with this, we have Verizon. On LTE, we tend to have 3 bars here. However, during the day especially, what happens is it constantly is kicking you off of LTE and bringing you into satellite mode. And so it'll come out of satellite, go back to LTE, you'll go on and try to do something, it'll immediately kick you back to satellite. So for a lot of this trip, which has been perfectly fine for most of us, we have not been able to access our phones whatsoever. Again, very intermittent. If that's something that's important to you, where you're going to need that access on a regular basis, maybe consider something somewhere else. Not sure this is going to be a good fit all the time for you. All right, y'all. Well, now is the end of the video where we're going to do our rating system. First time in a while, we've had all four of us here to do the rating. Just to reiterate, we each get 10 points to divvy up between 3 different categories. The first one being the campsite and campgrounds, the second one being the amenities of the park, and the final one being overall family appeal. So not only what it's like for the kids, but also for the adults having something to do. So why don't we start with the campgrounds and campsites? What do y'all think about the campgrounds and campsites, and what did you give it on a score, a scale of 1 to 10?
I think the campsites are spacious enough. They're all gravel, so I mean, it's not terrible. You have a little concrete pad to step out on. I would say the sites we're in, 601 and 602, because they're wooded, there's a lot of flies. So the flies are just everywhere. I mean, tons of them. And they also have fly traps already set up, so you know there's some kind of issue going on. These traps also give off some potent odors. So I don't know. That was kind of a negative for me.
So what did you give it on a score of 1 to 10?
I give it a 7 because I do think the other campsites that probably aren't in the woods are probably less bug infested.
7 because I think it's a different experience if you're not in these two sites. If you're up on kind of the middle tier, it's wide open. I don't think you have the issue of ants or the flies, and don't have to worry about anything falling on your camper, but you do get good shade down here. 7.
Agreed. I also gave it a 7. Seriously, when we got our food out on the picnic table to eat, the flies, hundreds of them, descended upon the picnic table, and it was not super relaxing in that way. Cannot underscore the fly problem enough. But I gave it a 7 because, like the others said, hopefully the other sites are less buggy when they're further away from the woods.
And I also gave it a 7. Everything they just said. The other thing with 601 and 602, they are very long sites, which is nice. However, they're not even. I had to park at the very, very back. My tail is almost out in the road in order for me to be able to use the concrete pad. And when set up that way, from left to right, it is so uneven that my tires on one side are completely off the ground with the jack. So again, just a little bit of an issue there. The bugs being the biggest issue, so 7 out of 10. All right, so that is a 28 out of a possible 40 points. So next we are going on to amenities. Veronica, what did you think about the amenities at the park, and what did you give it for a rating?
I gave the amenities a rating of 8. I think the water park has tons of features for the big kids and the little kids, the little splash pads. There's multiple areas to sit, several different pools, several playgrounds, several bouncy pillows. I think the resort does a good job of kind of spacing it all out.
I gave it a 9. 9. I mean, to me, the only thing that's really missing is a gym, and that's more for the adults. For the kids, I mean, you have a water park, and what kid doesn't want to spend all day at a water park? Plus, numerous pools. There are multiple playgrounds, ice cream shop, basketball court, mini golf. It's great for the kids.
Perfect. Hannah, what'd you give it?
Agree. I gave it an 8. Plenty to do for the kids. The only thing I thought they could maybe do a better job of is the upkeep of the amenities. One of the bouncing pillows had a couple holes in it, so it was a little bit floppy, a little bit deflated. A bunch of the water slides could use some revamping. They've got some missing paint and things like that. The mini golf just needed the leaves blown off or maybe pressure washed. Just little stuff like that they could do a little bit better in the upkeep of the amenities themselves.
Yep, and I also gave it an 8 out of 10. Again, there's 6 pools between here and the resort across the road. They also offer golf carts that you can rent to get you there. It is very hilly, so it's nice to have an easy way to get back and forth to where you're going. And then just some of the activities that they have scheduled, the hay rides, different games. Last night they had a foam party up at the Gaga Ball area, so a lot of things to keep the kids active and busy. Again, the water park is a huge part of it. So 8 out of 10, and out of a possible 40, we gave it 33. Last one, overall family appeal. So the appeal for both the children and the adults having activities to do. Veronica, would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I rated it an 8. Um, there's plenty to do for the kids. Adults, I would say, not so much. Not anything other than maybe some walking, some big hills if you want to work out. But really just the pools and having fun in the water.
Britt, what you got? 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it a 9 again. I mean, look, we come here for the kids, and there's a million things for them to do here. To me, the only thing missing, like I said, is a gym. But you can run, you can do other stuff, and we're not here necessarily for us. We're here for the kids to have a good time, and there's tons of stuff for them to do.
Agreed. Also gave it a 9. Happy kids, happy parents, basically.
And I gave it a 7. So grand total there is going to be 33 out of 40. Same thing as everyone said. I really like the picnic tables. It's nice to be able to sit out in the evening and play cards. It's a nice picnic table. Again, like Britt said, no gym, but there's a lot of good running around the area. You can ruck around the area, a lot of hills, so it's very challenging. You can still get out and get a good workout in. So with that, the grand total for this park, Great Escapes at Chestnut Bay, is going to be a 94 out of a possible 120. Definitely think, what do you guys think? Place that you would recommend people to come check out, come back again?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. All right, so we appreciate all the support. Make sure you like and follow, share the video. And with that, last thing to say, life's always better with a great campfire and great company. We'll see you at the next campground.